What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another WNBA video. We got both game twos to dive into for today, Tuesday, September 23rd. So we're going to break down and analyze each of those games. We're going to talk about which way that I'm leaning as far as the points in the spread. We'll also go over a few player props that I found in those games that I like. And then when it's all said and done, make sure you check right down there into that pinned comment. You'll find a link down there that'll send you over to the Guy Boston Sports website. And that's where all of my final plays for these games are going to live for free. Now, before we dive into these games, let's go ahead and jump over there to the website. That way we can recap our plays from Sunday. Let's see what we put in then and how that ended up going down. We put 5 plays in on Sunday and we go 4-1 on the day. We took Natasha Howard over 9.5 points. She cashed that out for us in the first half. And in that first half, we took the Aces laying 3.5, man, but the Fever did have control of this one from the jump, so we don't cash there. But it was all good from there, man. We took the Minnesota Lynx and the Phoenix Mercury a total under 159.5, and that one does hit. We took the Mercury in the first quarter plus 2.5, and also in the first half plus 5.5. Both of those come through for us as well. So a nice 4-1 profitable day Sunday afternoon. We're going to look to roll that positivity right here into this video for these game twos here, guys. Smash that like button down there for me if you can. Hit subscribe if you have not already. Let's jump right into the mix. 7:30 p.m. tip-off time for our first game. Phoenix Mercury taking on the Minnesota Lynx in Minnesota. We got the Lynx coming in 7.5 point favorites. That total is sitting at 158.5. Now, game one in this series, it turned out pretty much exactly as I had expected, man. Lower scoring. A game Phoenix should be able to keep close, but ultimately we could see the Lynx pull away late for the cover. All of this did end up coming to fruition. We saw Phoenix hold the lead after one, and at the half, we saw 15 lead changes and 9 separate ties, but ultimately Minnesota did close this game out on a 12-2 run and won this one by 13. Big factor here, man, was the Lynx winning the battle on the glass. And this one was definitely played from the inside, man. The Mercury did actually outscore Minnesota 54-40. The Lynx shot 9 of 29 from deep for just 31% shooting. Phoenix could only hit 3 of their 23 attempts from outside, good for just 13%. Now, where the Mercury were really killed in this one, like I said, this one was played inside, man, and second chance scoring opportunities really hurt them. They were outscored by Minnesota 20-5 in this regard, and it ended up being the difference maker in this one, in my opinion. Now, on the year, though, Phoenix does rank second overall in second chance points allowed and head to head against the Lynx in the regular season. That average did stay consistent with their season averages. So, while it's something they can and should be able to clean up, it is worth noting that through the playoffs so far and the 5 games heading into the postseason, this has been an area of concern from them as they have given up the most such points in the league over that time. Now, there is no new injuries on the Mercury side to discuss. The Lynx have announced that Dejanay Carrington will miss the remainder of this season, and man, that really sucks for Minnesota, right? She was brought in for this right here, this playoff run. End of the day, though, I do think that the Lynx still have enough to get the job done, take the series, and still win the whole thing, man. But I do think that Phoenix can stay within the number here, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if the script kind of flips, opposite from game one, and we see the Lynx jump out to a larger lead to open up the game, and then we see the Mercury battling back to make this one interesting late and secure the cover, possibly even stealing this one outright. So it's going to be a lean with Phoenix on the side here for me. And then for the total, it's hard not to look at that under again, but let's go ahead and dive into it just a little bit more. Sunday did mark the 5th game between these two head-to-head this season. It was also the 5th straight under. Phoenix has hit to 4 unders in a row. 8 of their last 10 games have gone under, and the Lynx have gone under now in 5 of their last 6. But I don't think that we see much of a dip offensively from Minnesota here in game 2. I also don't think that we see Phoenix shoot just 13% from deep again here. And both of these teams have loved the 3 ball, heading into the postseason and throughout this postseason so far. So a slightly better shooting night from Phoenix. And I think we see these two get just up and over this line here. Down at 158.5 feels just a little bit low, man, but it feels like a risky play here considering none of these meetings so far between these two have gone over, right? And none have landed even higher than 153. So it'd be a lean towards the under here for me, but I'm not sure that I'm going to get there to that one. And then next up, 9:30 p.m. tip-off time, Indiana Fever taking on the Las Vegas Aces. Aces are now 9.5 point favorites. That number is moving in favor of the Las Vegas Aces. That total sitting at 164.5. Man, these Fever though, that's right. I keep counting them out, and they keep making me look dumb for it, man. And the signs were there, and we did discuss that, talking about game one, that these Aces have struggled against them already this season, losing 2 of the 3 regular season matches by double digits. And now in game one, they lost at home by double digits again, 16 points. You would think all the injuries would slow this Indiana team down, right, and put them at a disadvantage, but here they are, up 1-0, 2 wins away from a WNBA Finals berth. This coming just after knocking out another team in Atlanta that many viewed capable of winning the chip this year while, we were entering into the postseason. So just wild, man. Gotta give the Fever their credit, right? Gotta give them their flowers, man. And look, the Fever as a whole, they've played a good game. I'm not taking anything away from them, right? And the adversity that they've overcome this year by what I'm about to say, but Kelsey Mitchell has put this team on her back countless times, man, throughout this season, this postseason as well, and then again in game one here, man. 34 points, 66% shooting from downtown, 52% overall from the field. And then to the contrary, league MVP Asia Wilson had a rare off night, right? But from what we've seen from her, it shows us that she's going to bounce back here in game two. You look at her in her last 20 games, we've only seen her shoot under 40% 3 times in those last 20 games, right? Each of those times, she's followed that up by shooting at least 50% or higher in her next game. And I think, that'll be the key here in this one. As hard as it'll be for the Aces to slow down Mitchell, they've really had no answer for her at all this season, right? Through 4 games, she's averaging 25 points per game on 49% shooting from the field, 54% shooting from deep against Vegas. So me personally, let her go off. That's what I would do if I made the Aces, right? Let her go off. Let her have hers and make sure you shut everyone else down, man. But like I was saying, the key here for Vegas, though, it's twofold. You need that expected bounce back from Asia, and that feels like a given. But Coach Hammond called out the lack of urgency from the team as a whole, citing a stagnant offense, struggles on defense as well, and the supporting cast just has struggled against the Fever for sure this year, right? Jackie Young is still putting up a little over 15 points per game head to head with Indy, but that is down just slightly from her season average. And she's shooting just 20% from outside against the Fever this year. And Joy Lloyd has been close to non-existent in these head-to-heads with Indiana, man. 27% shooting from the field, 14% from deep, just under 6 points per game. Chelsea Gray's been pretty flat against this team as well, man. 18 points in the first meeting back in late June, but just 8 points per game in the 3 head-to-head since. 36% shooting from the field, 13% shooting from deep. So everybody's struggling to shoot it from outside against Indiana on the Vegas side. But I think we see them come to play here, man. These are all champions that we're talking about here. They know what's at stake. They're, going down 2-0, headed into an elimination game 3 in Indiana. That isn't an option. So I'll take the Aces here on the money line, but I'm not sure that they just absolutely run away with this one, right? As far as the spread and the lean, it would be a slight lean towards the Aces for me, but I don't see me getting there to the window with it personally, man, because we've seen this Fever team now win 6 of their last 7. They're playing great basketball themselves despite losing half their roster to injury. They've matched up extremely well with this Vegas team so far this year. So it'd be a lean towards the Aces on the side, but like I said, man, I don't think that I get there. Now, for the total, it's a similar story to our other series here in the semis, right? These two have hit to the under in all 4 games that they played this season, head to head, and in 7 straight meetings between them as well, dating back into last year. The Aces have hit to the under in 6 of their last 10 and 2 in a row, while the Fever have gone under the total in 8 of their last 10 games. But we do know that the Fever, they're going to look to up the tempo, right? They push the Dream to the fastest pace of any series in the opening round. And Atlanta, that's a team that played to the second slowest pace this season. But while I think we see a better performance from this Aces offense, I also think that we see the defense step up as well. So I would still lean towards the under here in game 2. Then let's go ahead and jump over to Outlier to go ahead and break down 3 player props that I found that I want to look at with you guys. First play I'm looking at, Satu Sabali of the Mercury. In that Mercury and Lynx game, tipping off at 7:30. I'm looking at her rebounds over 5.5. Now it is juice, minus 145 over there at DraftKings. If you look on over here, Minnesota overall, rebounds allowed, middle of the pack sitting at 7th, against that 4 position sitting down there at 9th. And if we look at Satu on the year, she's averaging a little over 6 rebounds per game, hitting this at a 53% rate overall on the season, 23 of the 43 games that she's played. If we look at her in her last 5, though, hitting at an 80% rate, right? 4 of the last 5, averaging 7.6 rebounds a game. Head to head with the Lynx, 100% over her last 4 games, including 3 played this season, averaging a little over 8 rebounds per game. We can look at this insight from Outlier as well. She's exceeded this mark in 4 of her last 5 road games, averaging 6 rebounds per game, and those hitting at an 80% rate. So all in all, I definitely like this one here to start us off. Satu Sabali, her rebounds over 5.5 at minus 145 on DraftKings. Also be looking at Nafisha Collier in that game. Her points, rebounds, and assists under 32.5. I just think that the books have this one priced too high still, man. Sitting up there at 32.5, man. The Lynx are just too deep of a team. They don't need Fee to go off, points wise. How often do we see her just have those explosive nights? They do come, right? You see it over here, 32 points, right? But we're under 20 in a lot of these games, 18, 17. We got a 25 there, 12, 20, 19, 20, 24, 18. We got a handful of games there where we're under 20 points. And Phoenix is not a bad team on the glass, right? We look at them head to head this year. And in those 4 games this season, she's gone under this mark in 3 of those 4. So I definitely like that. We look at her in her last 5 games as well, going underneath that mark at an 80% rate, as well as her last 10, pushing it back a little bit further. And if we look at this insight from Outlier, we can see that she has failed to exceed even 31.5. We were looking at this at 32.5, but she's failed to exceed 31.5 points, rebounds, and assists in 7 of her last 8 games versus top 5 defenses. 4 rebounds allowed. Like I said, Phoenix is a pretty good team on the glass. So all in all, I like this play as well. Sitting at minus 120 there on Hard Rock Bet. And lastly, going to be looking at Jackie Young in that Fever and Aces game, tipping off at 9:30. I'm looking at Jackie Young's points and rebounds over 20.5. We can get that at minus 120 over there at FanDuel. Overall, the Fever are sitting at 8th for points allowed, 13th for rebounds allowed, sitting last in that regard. Now, on the season, she's hit this at a 56% rate, averaging just over 21 points and rebounds a game. 27 of the 48 games played, she has gone over that mark. Now, in her last 5 games, we can see her hitting at an 80% rate as well, averaging 23.4 points and rebounds in those games. And head to head, she has hit over this mark in 3 of the 4 games against the Fever this season. Now, we did have this one, right, where the Aces were just absolutely crushed, 81-54, only 6 points and 1 rebound. But other than that, she's getting up and over this mark pretty handily, right? And if we look at this insight from Outliers, just kind of talking about how she's exceeded this mark in 8 of her last 10 games, showing that consistency right there, hitting that over a 10-game period at an 80% rate, averaging 22.8 points and rebounds in that time. So all in all, I like this one here, man. Jackie Young over 20.5 points plus rebounds, sitting at minus 120 over there at FanDuel. And that is going to wrap it up for today. Hope you enjoyed the show and found the content helpful and useful. And if you did, please don't forget to smash that like button on your way out. Hit subscribe if you have not already. And that is going to do it, man. Hope you guys all cash out and have yourselves a great Tuesday. And I'll see you back Thursday for the next one.